7 a.m. Sun's coming up. It's feeling good. Having a great time. We're just cruising and enjoying it to the best of our ability. I just wanted to start out by asking, if you're out here and you are watching this content and you don't have a motorcycle, what's bringing you in? Are you interested in getting one? Do you like to watch other people ride because you figure you probably won't and it just cures the curiosity? Just let me know in the comments section what brings you in if you don't have a motorcycle right now. So today, I think I'm going to try to run into this Native American state park. I've been there once with my wife, and it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun, and I'd like to share that with you guys. And there's a lot of Native American history around the area I'm in. So I think I might put a video together just kind of talking about that and what that consists of. So we're over here in Uwharrie National Forest in North Carolina, and there's Morrow Mountain. It's a very popular state park that people visit, and you can, there's actually got a pool there. They've got, oh, there it is, the Town Creek Indian Mound. So I'm gonna whip around here, turn around and head back that way. But yeah, at Morrow Mountain, they got a pool, they got a boat access to Lake Tillery, and then they have, what is it? Sightseeing area at the very top. So you go up to the top of the mountain and you can look off the sides and enjoy all the views and all that kind of stuff. There's picnic areas, and at the top they have a little bit of the Native American history. And that's what we're going to try to go to the top and just read about that and just kind of put something together related to that. Now it's 8 a.m. on Sunday. I don't know that the Native American place is going to be open right now if I were to show up at this moment. So I might just cruise for a little bit. I'll probably turn around and go take a peek and just see what we can see. It's a free place, so even if it's closed, I don't know if I would get in trouble for going to peek at it. I don't think anybody would really care, but I don't want to get in trouble. We might go though. You'll see what I mean once I get there. It's not like I would be trespassing. I would not enter the building, and they could very likely have it blocked off anyway. I've only been once. That's crazy, the bones. Okay. There's good roads back here. I mean, when you think about the history of this country, Native Americans and all that, it's really fascinating. I'm not a history expert, so if I start talking about some of this stuff, I make any mistakes or anything like that, I'd appreciate any corrections, and I support them. I'm not trying to act like I'm an educator. I'm not. I'm a motorcycle enthusiast, and we're stopping by the Native American park thing. But from my perspective, I really think it's fascinating. I think that, you know, the fact that they lived off the land to that extent. I mean, I could go back to being said about the first cavemen and all that too. It's just a crazy thing to think about, and how they had to use the natural environment around them in order to move products and goods and, you know, just to live life. They had to set up around a river, and that gave you the ability to float things down the river, gave you the ability for water, and, you know, probably better hunting because of the game that would come up and drink the water in the river. What is that? I thought that was a person. But I mean, if you just think about it though, they were in a time period where the tribes would be at war with each other. You'd be out there just trying to make it. Everything you did, you didn't know if that was your last moment. You didn't know if you were going to eat that night. And survival throughout history has been like that very, I don't know, maybe even more, you know, probably for a longer period of time than it wasn't. So I don't think people today necessarily realize how blessed we actually are to have all the things that we have. My dad's always said that today the poorest person here still lives like the kings of the past, because it used to be so bad for the poor people. You used to be an actual slave, or having to build a kingdom for the pharaoh, whatever. And you know, I'm sure some people watching this are going to say, well, hasn't changed much, I'm still a slave to the system, which maybe so to a certain extent. However, I have the freedom to hop on this motorcycle, take a ride, and try to create my own destiny. Are there different factors for different people? Absolutely. Are there different problems that we're going to encounter along the way to stop our journey, and people who are power hungry and all that blocking us? Absolutely. But I think we're still freer than we've ever been, and we have to appreciate that. We just need to keep pushing forward and make sure that never changes. But anyway, it's just crazy, you know, your whole family. I mean, imagine when the settlers show up, you're just used to a certain way of life. So when the settlers show up, it's probably like aliens, you know, like, who are these people? What the heck? Just, you know, and then before you know it, greed takes over. Because I'm pretty sure when everybody first settled, for the most part, they were trying to get along with the Indians as much as they could. And then over time, greed took over. Hey, once you realized, hey, we're stronger than these people as far as technology, what we know, somebody said, hey, get them out of here. Which, that's the greed. It's built into our human characters as a flaw. A lot of us have learned to suppress it. A lot of us still suffer from greed. But all of us have a little bit of greed. It's just the way we're made. I saw a cool, well, am I going to the Indian thing, I think? Yeah, that's right. I turned around already. I saw a nice road right there. I was gonna roll with it. Yeah, I grew up in the 90s, you know. It was a different time, a lot of fun. And from my perspective, everybody was just out to have a good time. We were out playing football every day, basketball. It really wasn't too much dividing us. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or if it's just part of getting older. All that division starts settling in. But I still live my life as if it doesn't exist because I love everybody. That's what it's all about. It's people, loving people, enjoying life, meeting new people. I mean, if you live in a square box, what fun is that? If all you know is what you know. So I look forward to any conversation with any person. What can I learn from this person? What interesting stories can they share with me? That's just how I live my life. And sometimes I am much more shy than I would like to be. So that's the one thing about this content creation. It really gets you to step outside of your shell. And some people would say you're faking stuff, but really you're just showing people who you truly are. It's just who I would be if you were hanging out with me all the time. I was so comfortable with you. I'm just living, man. That's how I do it. Day by day, struggle by struggle. If there's not a problem to solve, what fun is that? A life with everything figured out, it sounds pretty boring. So, I love a challenge. That's a really cool part. I'd like to bring my kitties here one day. That pool, you can actually pay for membership for like a year here. It's not very expensive. But bring the kids over to that park and hang out at that pool. Sounds like a good time. This is Mount Gilead. I should have kind of talked about it when we cruised through the town back there, but yeah, pretty nice little area. There's a coffee shop and a couple stores right there. Very nice people. I've stopped in there with my wife. There's some people that do like framing and printing, really nice, photo framing and really nice prints for your photography. They were super cool people. The coffee shop across the street, lady's very nice. And I think they have one of the biggest antique stores around. It's like 2 or 3 stories tall. and it's full of stuff. I mean, if you got some money to spend and a place to put it, it's full of stuff. I want to say it's called Morton's Antiques. The tree is beautiful. It's like a movie. You can just see somebody sitting out under it. You see why I like these roads, you know? It's just me out here. It's peaceful, it's quiet. It's just a good time. I have to watch out for animals, you know. Animals are my biggest concern. But I do notice I have the little deer things on the bike, like those little whistle things. I don't know if they work that well or not, but they're there. And I got the loud exhaust. And I noticed the combination of those. The deers definitely hear me coming. Does that mean that they're gonna respond correctly and move out of my way? Not necessarily. So I still have to watch out for them. But I do like that every time I see a deer, they're looking at me first. So they've already noticed me from afar. And they're just scared at that point, trying to figure out what to do next. And that's what you gotta watch out for. If their family has already crossed the road, then they might make the decision to run to their family for safety. And that would be the primary concern there. So most of the time they will actually cut back, you know. They hear the sound, the woods are right beside them, they cut back. But you never know, so you always watch out. I was watching them run through a field in my backyard yesterday, actually, and I was like, I wonder what they're gonna do when they get to the road. And they just kept on prancing, you know. But you can't fault them for that. Just a deer living life. Alright. Well, that was it. Sound Creek Indian Mound. I gotta turn around. That's the only thing. I don't mind not using a GPS, but I miss my turn a lot. I'm not gonna like crash to make my turn, you know. That's one thing I've realized over the years is like something like that happens, just chill. You'll figure it out. I've seen people on the interstate and stuff, they miss their, you know, or they're about to miss their exit. They swoop their car across 4 lanes of traffic. I'm just gonna see if I can just turn around right here. Yeah, I didn't put it down. I ain't put it down. It was close. Alright. But yeah, they swoop their car across 4 lanes of traffic to make their exit. It's like, is it really worth it, man? We drive so many miles in cars and everybody's so lucky all the time. You don't realize when something goes wrong, it's not good. It's not good. I do take safety precautions out here. You know, I'm all by myself. My phone has tracking on it, and my camera, I'll have to show you guys later, but I've actually rigged it up to have a tracker on the top of it. It's kind of cool, actually. Oops. So my goal is to never endanger other people, you know. And if I ever do something like what you just saw, I'm not going to do it around anyone. I'll do it in the middle of a straightaway beside 2 cornfields where I know exactly what's going on. Highly, highly predictable. Highly predictable. Oncoming traffic in general, period, at all. Or, what's it called? Oh yeah, roads, you know, turning into where I'm at. Would never do such a thing. It's just a street, not a track. Ah, as I figured, the gates. Let's see. Ah, they are closed today. Town Creek Indian Mound. So we'll check it out another time. There's other stuff I can go ahead and start looking at today. I mean, part of this is just giving me a reason to ride. But we'll head over to Morrow and check out that Indian history. And then we'll follow up in a few days, coming out this way. Anytime you see anything that looks like I'm going fast or my wheels up in the air, I just use editing software. That's just a disclaimer. We'll see how the noise is, but I need that damn air. It's too hot. Even if y'all can't hear me no more, I can deal with that. I need some air. I think all my vents are open. Yeah, I'll stop and check later. Crash out trying to figure it out. That's what they call it, a screamer, my boy. Oh man, oh, snaky lines, hey, nah. I wanted to turn down that road, but maybe the whole road's not like that. Maybe it's just right here. I've been down that road before, actually. I'm gonna find a different one. It's all ringing a bell. I get to take off again. Whoa! Hey, I got a car on me now. Best behavior. I don't know who it is. And that's how I ride, honestly. If I see another person, I'm chilling for their respect and for my safety, for everyone's safety, for me not getting in trouble, all that. Yeah. If I see another car, I'm chilling. Half the time they're faster than me, see? Which early in the morning like that, I mean, damn, could easily be a police. Nobody else really out here, everybody else in bed. I don't even know what the speed limit is. He's not a cop, but he's definitely riding my bump. Just my boy's in a hurry, I guess. See what I mean? I'm not the speeder. It just sounds loud. This dude's rolling up on me. So I'm working right now to get a trailer set up so that I can take my bike different places easier. loading it into the back of a truck is doable, but also it's easy to make a mistake. And when you're in a predictable area like leaving your house, you can load up pretty easily. You can set up exactly where and how you want. But when you get somewhere to ride, you might end up parking somewhere that doesn't have the easiest place to unload. So those are the kind of the hassles that you run into when you're moving a bike. And then, not to mention, I want to be able to use my truck bed to carry your luggage and things like that. Maybe combine it into a family trip where head up to a mountain, stay the night, family comes, they know I'm going riding early in the morning. I like to ride early like this, so I'll knock out the ride and then we can enjoy the day in the mountains as a family too. But anyway, to make all that work, I'm setting up a trailer right now, and I could just roll up onto the trailer. And my only other concern is just getting the bike stolen. So I'm work on security. This is the town. So to my left was that store with the nice people. Uptown Coffee Company is the good coffee shop. And right here on the right is the antique place, Mount Gilead Antique Mall. It is not called Morton's. Morton's is the antique mall closer to my house that I was confusing it with. So this one is to at least 2 stories tall, and it's full of it's a lot of actual antiques. Me personally, I've changed my lifestyle to reduce junk and clutter, and I'm not saying an antique is junk by any means, but I don't add stuff to my house. Like I keep it so minimal. I think they call it a minimalist lifestyle, and I've got what I want, and if I get something else, I typically try to replace something or whatever. I just don't want to be cluttered. I like to try to keep everything clean and easy to manage, because that's what happens. The more stuff you get, the more stuff you add, the harder you make your management. And then one day life isn't perfect and you're busy with other stuff, and boom, you fall behind on a lot of things, and before you know it, you got a bunch of money you got to spend or a bunch of work you got to do, and you're not living in the situation you want to be. Clutter can actually lead to that, believe it or not. So I keep my life uncluttered, and my wife helped me with that actually, because for the longest I was not a hoarder, but like I wanted to save something. I might be able to use that for this one day. I might be able to, there's still value in that, whatever. But being like that, telling you, builds up. Before you know it, you got an actual problem. All right, that's that road I wanted to go on earlier. Bump, 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 bump. I'm gonna turn around right now. The Paperworks packing group. Sister city with Losheim something in Germany? Is that actually... I need to look into what that means. It's a slow road. We'll see. Looks cool, but it's slow. I don't know if I can handle a 35 speed limit. And people on the wrong side of the road. When the speed limit's low, it's generally not a good road to be on. No fun. Sometimes you're in the middle of nowhere though, and it's a really curvy road. That's why the speed limit's low. That can be fun. But for this situation, it seems like maybe a bust. Here's a little curve sign. Maybe we'll get through the residential when we got something up here. It's what I'm looking for, man. The diamond in the rough. What's up, birdie? Thank you for moving faster. Sorry to bother you. It's a big ass bump. I actually felt that in the steering wheel more than normal. Gravel. Ooh, this road is sketchy, but it's also cool. Definitely not one to go any kind of speed on. Sketchy, sketchy. What the heck? Oh, sorry. I think I got too excited for that. The dinosaur, bro. The dinosaur. Let's check it out. Let's turn around. Oh, this road looks clean. Look at the dinosaur. That's sweet. Who are you guys? Something blinds. Somebody in there's a welder. Oh, there we go. Raptor blinds. Well, that's why it's a raptor. Now I get it. Raptor blinds. That's cooler than I'm getting more entertainment. You know what? Dino Boy. Shout out. Shout out to my boy following me, Dino Boy. That one's for you. Bet you would like to have that at your house. Oh, I like that bridge. Look, it's cool looking. Now this road looks much cleaner than the other one. It's still residential though, so I'm chilling. That Raptor was actually really cool though. I think welded art is really sweet. I have this, like, I'll see if I can cut a clip of it in here, but I have this Tin Man that's welded together. I got him in Charleston, and he's like so I might show it to somebody. Somebody might know he's like from something or a movie or something. I don't know, but from my perspective, he's just this crazy metal guy with an axe. And so once I share it, if anybody knows if he actually is a character of some sort, let me know. But I had to buy it. It was so cool looking. I love art. I didn't really realize it until recently. My buddy pointed out to me. Shout out Ryan. He is like, you know, you're more into art than you realize. Well, I don't know how it came up, but basically he let me know, like, if you realize and think of your history, you're really into like art. And it's true. Like, I always buy these different art things in the Bahamas that I really like, handmade, unique, things like that. And, you know, like the metal, like that Raptor, freaking sweet to me. I like the thought of creation and making something out of nothing. Bait snacks. Looks like a cool spot. This is a dead end, so maybe I'll ride it out. Dead end is cool to me because, well, cool and scary. For one, I don't like to ride to a dead end because does that mean I'm going to die in the end? And two, got these birdies out here today. Two, it's a dead end, so I'm not going anywhere. It's going to end. But it can be some of the most peaceful, quiet little stretches of road ever. Just nobody has any reason to go here. That was sketchy. That was a little sketchy. I'm glad I'm chilling. Sent you up the hill like that and then into a turn. Our bike was at a weird point of balance. Part of talking to you guys, I'm not focused on going the fastest, which is great. Because a lot of guys, you're out here when you're riding this, and that's, you know, you're trying to get your adrenaline all out of the ride. Part of my adrenaline just comes from sharing the experience, talking to you guys. Keeps me more tame and mellow, and also, if I were to be committing severe infractions, it's on camera, and that's not good. So, I don't do that. Like I said, anything bad you see is totally edited. I just clip that stuff in. It's on a private road at my buddy's house, and we clip all that stuff in. Gotta love editing. Just let people know I'm friendly. Live at the end of a dead-end road. I'm sure you're like, who the heck is that? Just riding my motorcycle. But see this road, like look, a road nobody has any reason to be on. It curves like this and stuff. It's fun. But I don't know it, you know, so I take it really, really easy until I know where I'm at. Because there's always like anytime a rock driveway meets, like there was some right there, just anytime a rock driveway meets the asphalt, you're gonna have rocks come out. So, some people maintain it, keep them off. Some people are way worse than others. They probably lay the rock on too heavy and it gets pushed off. So my goal here has been to make a riding video where I didn't really have to do much editing. So I've tried to consistently talk to you guys for this period of time, and I hope it's been pretty entertaining. Well, I know there's some dull moments, and there will be a little clipping out, but what I've realized in this video content world is the editing is so time consuming, and I make the content faster than I edit it. So that's that. I think people mention that kind of, but I really see it now. I might go ahead and change my oil today. It's been a while. Well, not really a while at all, to be honest, but I'll be real with you. I change my oil every like 1,500 miles. So it's the only thing keeping that metal from metal. And this is my baby. I keep it fresh. So fresh and so clean. Oil so fresh and so clean. I think I saw a deer back there. Out of all the things I can experience on the road, the snake lines, like these, those are my least favorite. They're not consistent, unpredictable. They're all over the place. They, zigzag. It's hard to avoid them, and they're more slippery, especially when wet, than the road is. They're not 100% slippery. Like you're not gonna fall just because you hit one, but you're gonna have a higher chance of losing traction on one of those than you would if they weren't there. But yeah, you see I ride for long periods of time. That's one reason I don't ride with other people a lot, because I wonder what that is, the cove at Lily's Bridge. Maybe it's like waterfront property. Oh, this is what I was looking for. Okay, I came here the other day. The videos that you see on my channel where we went tubing and stuff, this is where we were. It's pretty. It was a lot of fun. Shout out Troy for the boat ride. People out here fishing. I think they got a place to hang out right there, restaurant or something. So that's it. They're catering to the boaters, hotels and stuff. But yeah, sorry, I had to remember where I was at. I take very long rides, and other than my hand going numb and me having to do things like this, ride one-handed, in order to get feeling back in my hand, I keep going. So I'll do that every now and then, and just let my hand, it actually gets completely numb at a certain point, and I figure it's probably a little dangerous. I like that road back there. I'm gonna start heading this direction though, because I want to hit Morrow Mountain. Other guys I ride with, they want to take a break every 15-20 minutes. Can't do it. I gotta keep going. I'm here to ride. That's what I'm here to do. I'll take like major breaks, you know what I mean? Like I'll head to a destination, I'll get there, then I'll stop. Like once I get to Morrow Mountain, I'm gonna kick it there for a little bit. Let my body recover and all that. But like, I ain't just gonna pull over on the side of the road and kill 10 minutes. Now I have ridden so long before I have to do that. I mean, that's definitely a thing. But for me, that time period is a couple hours, I believe. I mean, we'll see how long this video turns out to be. I was probably riding for 15-20 minutes before I got this edit, so this part started. Minus any editing I'm doing. Emerald Shores. Must be really, I mean, there's some really nice homes on this lake out here. When we were riding that boat, we saw them. They got some really nice houses. And over towards Charlotte, you got Lake Wylie, Lake Norman. They're so much busier out there. They're not as enjoyable, in my opinion. It's more of like that showboat lifestyle where everyone's trying to have the biggest boat, the best boat. Yeah, I've been in that world when I was doing side-by-sides. It was like that. You know, it was all about, really, you know me to be honest with you, what the game really is? It's who's got the biggest payment. That's the real game out there. I'd say the majority of these people are making high interest payments on these boats and side-by-sides and things. And while, if that's the only way that gets you out there, you only live once, YOLO, I get it, bro. I totally get it. But I would say be careful about, you know, overextending yourself and having to have the biggest, baddest one. Why do I know that? Well, personal experience. I've made mistakes. And at the time, the biggest, baddest one for me in my budget range was like a $11,000 Razor 570. And to me, that was, you know, at that time was a whole lot. Still is, actually, I mean. So I didn't have the best credit at that time. I was younger. I went in there, really wanted it. They financed me. It was almost like $300 a month to ride on that thing. And that was when some financial mistakes began. Just making the decision to buy that toy. And I had two realizations during that experience that maybe you guys can learn from. One, I'll never get a payment on a toy again. I almost got a payment on this bike. I went in, I actually did get a payment on the bike. I left the dealer, they gave me a good rate and everything. And I got home, and then it hit me. I was like, if I'm making payments on something that's ever just sitting in my garage, I'm not gonna want it anymore. Or it's gonna make me feel like I have to go use it at times when I don't want to. Like, you send in your $200-300 payment and you pay your insurance, and then the bike's just sitting in the garage. Well, now you feel like, mentally like, damn, like I gotta get rid of this thing, or I gotta get out there and use it. But if it's paid for and you got everything like that, you know, settled, you don't get that same pressure to use it. And that goes for any toy that you're making a payment on. You'll feel like you need to use it more often because of that payment. Oh, and the second problem I have with anything that's like a boat, side-by-side, dirt bike, anything like that, if you can't go in your backyard and use it, you need to really factor in the transportation factor. Because if you're the one that has to get your boat ready or your side-by-side ready, trailer it to the destination to use it for the day, and make sure it's all secured and maintained and all that good stuff, then it's going to put some stress on you, and you're not going to be able to just fully enjoy those moments. So really what I've determined is it really factors in like how much are you actually going to use this item. And you really need to think about it. Like for a boat, are you going to be out there nearly every weekend in the summer, you know, or once a week at the minimum, close to it? Because if not, if you're only going once a month, once every couple months, it might make way more sense to rent something like that. You know, you can rent fairly cheap. Let's see, to Morrow Mountain, need to go this way. I mean, not cheap, but in comparison to buying, you know, so for the price of a monthly payment on a lot of these items, you can rent them for a day. And so how often are you going to really use it? You know, is it going to sit somewhere, and then when it's sitting there, you got to pay for storage, you got to winterize boats, and then when it comes to side-by-sides and all that, you go to these parks, you got to pay to use them, a lot of them. Some of them are pretty expensive, the private ones. You can go go riding over here in Uwharrie pretty cheap on your side-by-side. You pay for a year pass, but then it's only open like half the year when it's warm. They close it during the winter. So you got to go to these private places, and they'll end up being like, if you're taking a side-by-side, you're probably bringing some friends, so it ends up being, $100+ just to get in, then gas, and then if you're making a payment on it, and then the gas and the transportation and the tires on the trailer going out, and then blah 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 blah. It just all adds up, man. I'm not saying that it's not fun, and it might be worth it to certain people, but you should probably factor all those things in before you purchase one. I'm gonna keep it moving towards you, Uwharrie. There's a sign right there for a motorcycle shop I worked at when I was younger. RPM Cycles in North Carolina. If you ever happen to come across my content, shout out. Sorry I quit on y'all. Stressful time. I was living a dream. I thought, for the longest, I thought as a child, they're telling you, you got to figure out what you want to do for a living. What do you want to do? Well, I love motorcycles, so a career in motorcycles would be great. So I went on the application and made myself sound as good as I could, and it worked. I got the job, but I was trying to be a sales rep, and they threw me in the parts department. I'm not a mechanic. I don't really know engines like that, You're sitting there having to break down and go through schematics, like stuff I don't know about. So ended up not really being my cup of tea. The manager that they had behind the parts counter quit after like a week of me being there, which left me like basically filling in for the manager every day. And then one day, the owner of the RPM Cycles brings me back and like starts scolding me over sales and things like that. Like they're not doing as good as they used to do. Well, man, I'm like 18 years old. I was trying to be a salesman, and you got me doing a manager's job back here. I don't know what I'm doing, literally. So just kind of rubbed me the wrong way that why are you going to bring me back and scold me? Like, obviously your manager quit, hire a new manager. So looking back, maybe, possibly it was a test. Hey, can this guy step up to the plate? He's showing up for work every day. Maybe I'll make him the manager. But as a young kid, rubbed me the wrong way. And I was having to deal with his 12-year-old son behind the counter every day with me. So he'd have his son work, which would be fun or fine if the kid was respectful and stuff. But he was a little punk. He'd be a little brat and mean and disrespectful. And obviously you couldn't really put him in his place because he's the boss's son. So what do you do? So anyway, I didn't enjoy that. I was also having to ride a motorcycle 1 hour back and forth on a daily basis. And that was taking a toll. My wife was using my car at the time, and all I had was another bike. To work 5 days a week and have to ride a bike back and forth 1 hour, no matter the weather or how your body's feeling, you eventually start to not like riding as much. And that was kind of when it was a combination of all those factors. Hey, sitting when I thought it was, me and this guy aren't really clicking, and yeah, I'm tired of having to travel so far. All those factors why I quit. But it was also a wake-up call to, hey, you can kill a passion by being hyper-focused on it. So, for instance, you think you love motorcycles, then you get into the motorcycle industry and that's all you do every day, and that becomes your work. It might kill the passion in it for you. You might lose that special connection you have of where motorcycles is an escape, and then it turns into a chore. And then I noticed that I didn't want that. I think it probably happens to a lot of people, to be honest, because you start doing something because you love it, and that's why you're good at it. So if you're a mechanic, motorcycle mechanic, start doing that because you love motorcycles and you love working on stuff. Then eventually you're doing it every day for every person, every bike, and it never stops. And you get tired of it, and then you don't care about a damn motorcycle anymore. So Anyway, be careful. Career choices. Make sure they don't kill a passion or a dream. Sometimes it's something we got to do though, because also your best career is what are you best at? What do you enjoy most? Because although it might take the passion away, there still might be a deep desire in your heart that makes it click. It just turns into the work now and not the joyride. So there's different viewpoints, That was just my perspective, my experience. Just trying to get out here to Uwharrie. I keep calling it Uwharrie, but I'm actually looking for Morrow Mountain specifically inside of Uwharrie. So I think I'm heading the right way. I'll see a sign every now and then, and I just wing it. It's like the old days, no GPS. My parents were printing out directions, had paper sheets all over. Their parents had a big freaking map. They're having to figure out where they were on the map physically. Crazy to think about. Whew. Yep, like I told you, I was ready to jump off. I almost forgot I was with y'all. Oh, we're gonna try to just keep the video ticking today. Like I said, a little different than usual. Alright guys, here we are at Morrow Mountain, minus my lack of a hat and severe helmet Alright guys, here we are at Morrow Mountain, minus my lack of a hat and severe helmet hair. We're doing pretty dang good. It's been a nice day. I'm gonna check out some of these views and show you. And I want to show you some of the stuff that they had up here about the Native American history, if you're interested. But this park has picnic areas. Actually, it said, I gotta double check. I think it said Tuesday or Wednesday through Sunday. Basically everything but Monday and Tuesday, I think. They have snacks and stuff from like 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So you can actually buy snacks or whatever you need here. You like that? Rhyolite, I think that's how you say it. And it's basically a volcanic stone from 400 million years ago that can be found under your feet here. And the Morrow Mountain is primarily made of that stone. All right. And then basically this is the biggest prehistoric quarry in North Carolina. They were using it to make arrowheads, all the arrowheads that are found up and down Eastern North America, not all of them, but a lot of them were made in here in Uwharrie. The fragments of stone that you find under your feet are where they were actually chipping on them here. As you can see, the evidence of quarrying right here. And the debris. So all the stone at the base of the mountain is all chipped away from where over the years they were just, making stuff out of it. James McKnight Morrow is the reason that this park is possible. And this goes over the Yadkin PD River Basin was, traveled and used for trade to move stuff up and down the river, like we were talking about on the bike earlier. Hunter and gatherers were using it for food source and all that. Basically a lot of the stuff we were talking about on the bike earlier is on this board here. And they were using it for trade, and they were just putting their settlements up and down the river because it made all these things easier. So the stone here under your feet at Morrow Mountain is stone that has likely been at some point chipped. Well, it's probably a little bit deeper now, the stuff that they were actually working on, but especially down around the base is what they're saying, near the bottom of the mountain where they were just coming up and chipping at everything. So sorry, I had somebody looking over at the bike. I think they're just checking it out. So yeah, cool place. I love coming to Morrow Mountain. Quick little ride. It's easy for me to get here, and I just enjoy it. I enjoy being up here. It gives me something to do. Yeah, all the power was stuck in the low end of it.
Right.
And then, and you would wheelie in a heartbeat anytime you wanted to.
Yeah, I had an FZ07. It was the same way.
Yeah.
Real torquey.
I kind of miss them, because when I get out here, I ride for like 2 hours straight, and by the time I'm getting off, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm hurt. So
Yep, it hurts.
FZ,
It's worth it though.
it is. It's worth it.
The naked bikes are comfortable, but when you get on the highway, there's no place to hide.
Yeah,
You
yeah, and
have to
that,
tuck. You have to tuck.
yeah.
You stick your head up, it's taking your fucking head off.
But another thing is it'll keep you from going felony speeds.
Yes.
Because you know it kind of makes you feel like you're going faster than you are.
Yeah.
You know. So I kind of like that. Like sometimes, you know, if the Gixxer, if you tuck down, you can go. Yeah, you be going 100 miles an hour and don't even realize it. So they all have their cool things about them, you know.
Yeah, I got another tip for some Sylvia.
What is saying?
See, I'm saying that.
You said you got a notification.
No, I was telling him about the other day.
Oh.
Saying that my speed limit was 99.
You got a ticket?
No, it's this girl.
Oh.
That's on that like friend share. Like,
Oh, she saw you on the map. you got proof. You got
You
documentation.
better have screenshot it because I'm denying
Delete
it.
that app.
I'm denying the hell out of it.
No, it's easy to do, man. Every day I leave, I'm like, I'm gonna be calm today, and then at some point, oh shit, I think I almost got stung.
Yep.
I felt some on my finger for a minute. All right, guys. Well, yeah. You mind if I put any of this conversation in there?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah. So you might see a little video of it. So,
Have fun.
yeah. I'll see y'all out here, man. Be safe.
All right, man.
Yeah. There's y'all know the gas station. What's it called? Damn, it's a really nice ride. El Dorado Outpost.
El Dorado Outpost.
If you go out of here and head to El Dorado Outpost, like which way did y'all come from?
70.
Oh, so y'all are more like towards like Monroe, kind of. Okay, so you might want to check on the distance, but basically that road, El Dorado Outpost, it's like a wide open road, hardly any traffic, nice gas station right in the middle in case y'all need anything. Really nice road. So, all right, have a good day. Yeah. All right, you too. All right, so yeah, we talked about some of the we talked about some of the Native American history, and we visited the top of the mountain, and so it's pretty interesting that all around the base is where they farmed the rock, and that rock is what a lot of the stone arrows, or the arrow tips that are found along the East Coast were originated here, off of Morrow Mountain. And I guess because the stone is some type of volcanic, I think it said rhyostone, that makes it extremely durable and great for tool making. So exactly what they needed. So anyway, pretty interesting. And then with the mountain being right on the river, it probably gave them the ability to send the arrowheads up and down to other people and trade and all that. So whatever tribe or a settlement was right there was just making the crap out of ammo and probably trading that for everything else they needed. Going up and down the river to transport it, and then using the river for their water needs and to attract wildlife for hunting. Pretty simple concept all around, but when you talk about it, you kind of envision it, right? And when you can think about that kind of stuff going on, it makes it interesting to dream about it. That's the idea, is to get it in your mind and just put yourself in that situation years back, living on the riverside, creating tools and trading to survive. So that's what I'm saying. We don't have it all so bad nowadays, right? You can get yourself a job and put food on your table, which I know it's easier said than done in certain circumstances, but it technically could be worse. I know nobody wants to hear that when things aren't great, but it could be. So just look to the bright side is all I'm saying. Keep pushing forward. no matter what you're going through, it'll all work out. It always does. Really nothing to worry about. We're here on this rock, man. Everything else is fake. It's just created, manufactured. At the end of the day, you can get glory in going outside, just looking around. You know, put yourself in a beautiful place where it doesn't matter what you're doing. Every day is great. I think we all get so caught up in what we think is supposed to be the, success. You need a big house, a fancy car, brand name clothes. You just need to just enjoy life. Everything else is whatever. People around you are the things that are temporary. Excuse me. Make the most out of the relationships around you, the people around you. That's what's important, honestly. Everything else is whatever. It might take some of us longer to realize that than others. But why you think super rich people are still a lot of times, sometimes more often than not, I would say, seem to be generally unhappy? Because it takes them longer to realize that money doesn't actually bring you happiness. Money brings you ease, it makes things easier, that's for sure. It reduces stress, might increase your health. You can buy more, afford more, live better. But happiness is mental. Happiness is up to you to be happy and to find what makes you happy. These are all literally up to you. That's why, there is homeless people out there who are still happy. They figured it out. And not to say they wouldn't rather be in a better place and not having to deal with what they're dealing with. I'm sure they would all love that. However, they have found that materialism is not happiness. I would be depressed without my motorcycle. That's about it. No, I mean, who am I? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna front. I love my materials too. I love my home. Love my cars and my motorcycle. I enjoy these things. But if you can train your mental to not prioritize that, it's way healthier, because materials go away. As far as something could happen to this bike right now, not be usable anymore. Am I gonna let that affect me? Yes, but I shouldn't. That's the point. So yeah, that's Uwharrie National Forest. Later we'll do a visit to the actual historic Native American site there. But that's Morrow Mountain. And you've seen in my other videos, we're at the Lake Tillery. I've also, in some of my motorcycle vlogs, visited Baden Lake. So I've done quite a bit over there now. And it is close to me and convenient. But my next step is to branch out. And that's why I'm working on my trailer setup. And I'm going to start, exploring further destinations. I could ride there, but on a sport bike, I'll be honest, yes, you can ride there. You can be the tough guy and ride there and all that. Yeah, I can do it. I've done it. That's how I know this. But by the time you get there, you don't want to ride anymore. The ride ends up being the journey to get there. And then by the time you get there, you're tired. You don't want to explore the destination. So on a sport bike, what ends up being way better, to be honest with you, is to simply trailer your bike to where you're going, right? And then that way, when you get there, you're full of energy and you're ready to enjoy. So that's what I've learned. Then you can bring anything you need, and also if something goes wrong, you got two vehicles. So if your bike breaks down, you got that. You got the truck. If your truck breaks down, you got the bike. So as a solo travel to any destination, it's actually, it's pretty good. If my bike breaks down, I just drop it off at the closest shop or bring it on home. My truck breaks down, same thing. I could just get it towed to whatever shop, and then I'll just ride my bike home. Alright, I'm gonna listen to some music. If I don't close this one out, then thanks for joining me. It's a fun ride up in the mountain. And until next time, we're going to start exploring some crazier stuff, I promise. I've just been, oh yeah, I wanted to mention, most content creators, they after 3 months, they generally quit. So I'm approaching my 3-month mark of doing the motorcycle content. And I think he was pulling someone else over. I saw the police lights light up. Either he's flying up behind me right now or he's pulling someone else over. I think we're clear. But yeah, I'm approaching 3 months of doing content, and they say 90% of creators have stopped by 90 days. I'll be honest, it is not as easy as you would think. I know people just see the video, because I was one of those. You just see the video and you assume that they just get spit out. I don't know, like, you just see the content and you see someone having fun and you just think, oh, they're just taking a video of it. But there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes to present that video to you in a good way, at least most of the time. Unless you're a chick who can just dance in front of the camera and get your views, which do your thing. Because now that I see how hard this is, I wish I could.